What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Musicar here bringing you people the very next episode of the oh so generically named Pokemon Reviews. As far as today's episode goes, we're going to be looking at another fan game that received a lot of hype behind it, Pokemon Insurgence. As always, everything mentioned here is my opinion and my opinion only. If you by any chance do happen to disagree with any of them, feel free to let me know why in the comment section down below. So yeah, with that being said, enough of me rambling on, let's start with the review. Pokemon Insurgence is a fan game that has been in development since 2013. It is made by the same developers who made both Zeta and Omnicorn. While it certainly had the attention of most people who play fan games and ROM hacks, an article that was posted in Kotaku managed to catch the attention of many mainstream Pokemon fans. Due to the many features that were presented in the game, a lot of hype was created from it. As far as the features go, it possesses every single Pokemon from Kanto to Kalos, and just like X and Y, allows you to customize your trainer and their appearance. It also possesses secret bases as well, along with an online system that allows you to access other players' bases as well, which is pretty cool. Despite all these features, there is one thing that sets this fan game apart from the other Pokemon fan games around the world, and that would have to be one of the greatest creations, made by a fan of course, in recent time. Delta species. Now, before you go ahead and state that it is a ripoff of Alolan forms, I think I should mention that they were the ones who developed the concept of alternate Pokemon forms first. And it also should be mentioned that the background behind the Alolan and Delta forms are different, as Alolan forms are the result of Pokemon moving to a different climate and adapting over time, whilst it's implied that Delta forms are the result of Pokemon experiments carried out by the scientists. So I guess you could say it's a form of mutation, if you would. There are many of them which have very interesting designs, along with the fact that they even have varying types, as well as move pool, not to mention abilities as well. Speaking of abilities, new ones have been added as well, which help make some underwhelming mons pretty fun to use. Add that with the fact that they even have their own Mega Evolutions as well to coincide with their regular forms, it immediately catches your eye and makes you want to catch them all just to see what they look like. And from a design perspective, some of them are absolutely amazing. It really shows how creative they were when developing this concept in itself, and considering there are so many of them, it shows just how much time and dedication was put into this. Oh, and even the regular Pokemon are no exceptions as well, because that's right folks, some original Pokemon get their own Mega Evolutions as well, and most of them look absolutely kick-ass, with equally kick-ass abilities to make them some huge threats. You can even put armor on a certain number of Pokemon such as Tyranitar, which is pretty damn awesome. The game also has tilesets that are inspired by Gen 4, which is a very huge step up from its predecessors, so there's that. There are even new moves as well which coincide with all these changes, which also help in keeping things fresh. There are a total of 2 regions to explore in Tauren and Hoenn, which in a sense makes sure that if you want to play a game that doesn't end so quickly, it does just that for you. The game also has a difficulty mode which ensures that if you are playing a game whilst looking for a challenge, it does just that. And believe me, I'm gonna emphasize on that soon. To top it off, it also gives you the liberty to play this game as a Nuzlocke or an Egglocke, so if you're into all of that, then the door is open for you. Lastly, they even have their own websites and Tumblr as well, which I shall link in the description down below. Feel free to check them out. Now with the features out of the way, let's move on to the story. Pokemon Insurgence is more or less a dark story which involves content such as blood, death threats, and everything along those lines. The situation with the Tauren region is that it was and still is infested with so many cults to the point where the entire region was put into a chaos. As a result of that, a person was chosen who would look after the entire region and take out any individual being or an organization or a cult that would threaten its peace. That person would be called an Augur. Unfortunately, the game starts off with the second Augur stating that the first one, who'd been looking after the region the entire time, suddenly went missing, leaving Tauren defenseless. The second gives a genuine speech about doing his best to look after everyone and working tirelessly to find the first Augur, which would lead to a roar of approval from the crowd. It then shifts to where you are, locked up in a cult's evil base, where the members are dressed up as Darkrai's, stating how they intend to wipe the protagonist of their memories, with the leader appearing after and stating that after the memories are gone, the child is to be disposed of. With the cultists leaving, you are left with Gengar, who works towards doing its thing. Obviously, since you're the protagonist and plot armor is a thing, a Mew appears out of nowhere and gets rid of the Gengar before waking you up and giving you a letter about how you must escape while you can. So with Mew's help, you eventually make your way out of the base, but not before seeing a cultist getting sacrificed just to summon the legendary Pokemon Darkrai, who simply turns a blind eye to what the leader says and leaves, setting the tone of exactly what you can expect out of this story. Eventually, you make your way out before Mew gives you another letter about how you can summon it with the flute should you need its help before being on its way. From there, the story finally begins. Throughout your journey, you make two friends who appear to be in the same position as you, in the sense that they were chosen by the mythical Pokemon, one of them being Nora, who's an A student from a school who was chosen by a Celebi, and Damien, who doesn't have his actual mother looking after him, but a stepmother and his father, who constantly demeans him, saying that he is not reliable and he is not ready to travel, who is chosen by Shaman. Unfortunately, the game does have a certain number of flaws which kinda hindered the experience for me. Why is that, you may ask? Well, here we go. First things first, I want to state that whatever pieces of custom music that were created and developed by the creators were very well done and were extremely fun to listen to as I was playing the game. That being said though, they are very limited. Throughout the entire region, I had the misfortune of listening to those underwhelming remixes of Pokemon songs that come with the Pokemon Essentials pack. And to add even more salt to the wound, those 3 to 4 unbearable music pieces were used throughout the entire game, from towns to caves and routes, which made the traveling aspect of this game more of a pain. If they were so adamant about sticking to such limited music pieces throughout the game, they easily could have chosen to use music from Glitch X City, which definitely would have bettered the experience, I feel. Granted, if you're a person that doesn't listen to the music when playing a Pokemon game, this doesn't apply to you. But if you're a person like me, well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. To top it off, since they intend to stick to such a dark story, the music kinda takes a lot away from some moments, in the sense that when some serious things are being said, the upbeat and happy Pokemon music that is playing in the background doesn't necessarily set the mood for you and leaves you more indifferent than anything else really. Here's an example. This section of the video contains spoilers, so if you're a person that does not want the story to be revealed and want to experience it for yourself, feel free to skip ahead in the timestamp mentioned right here. A point in the game, the time has come for you to finally catch Mew. Things couldn't have been set up in any better way. You slowly walk towards it, readying for a fight of a lifetime with an epic song playing in the background before catching it. You finally step up. What happens next?
Serious?
As far as my direct thoughts on the story goes, even though every single character got their own respective focus and screen time, everything that took place in the beginning parts of the game really didn't appeal to me as anything special. In fact, if I'm being completely honest, there were many phases in the game where I genuinely found it hard to find the motivation to keep playing this game. However, in the end of the day, there still are many things about this game that I actually enjoyed. And that would have to be, and one of them would have to be the fact that Damien may just be the most relatable character I've come across, constantly being berated and looked down upon because of his efforts, which would eventually lead to him being the one unfortunate enough in the group to suffer from a terrible fate. You immediately start sympathizing with him. Not only that, but eventually somewhere down the line, you're forced into a rather awkward relationship between yourself and one of the cults, where you end up helping each other to progress towards your respective goals and then fight each other too while you're at it. The best part, however, was that during the end, it is revealed that there was a hidden group that pulled the strings all along and are behind all the chaos in the Tauren region, and what I really liked about them is the fact that they can't really be called bad guys either. my experience with them actually opened my eyes a bit about matters that I've overlooked up until now, and really just focuses on the concept of the line of gray, where there really is no right or wrong to it, which I definitely applaud the creator for. The ending towards the main story was perfectly executed, I feel, and for the first time left me genuinely excited. As far as the post-game goes, there are still lots of content to explore, as it more or less centers itself around wrapping up the many loopholes present in the main story, such as Damien's fate, what remains of the remaining cults that didn't disband, as well as an entire new story in a rogue professor that's obsessed with the Delta Regis. That's right, folks, Delta Regis. All in all, there is a lot to explore. Oh, and as I was referring to in the beginning, this game knows how to be difficult. I mean, you face a goddamn Mega Rayquaza after the third freaking gym if you play in hard mode. What is this madness? The only thing that takes away from the difficulty though would have to be the fact that the AI can act really stupid at times and make moves which would open the door for you to make a comeback. And to finalize the spoiler section, I can't stress how amazing some of the new Megas are. Granted, some of them may be really busted beyond repair like Mega Flygon, but other Pokemon such as Mega Cacturne or even Mega Hydreigon, whose number of heads keep increasing the more it is hit, which really left me scared at first. In the end, these great forms of creativity is what made me stick around and play this game. These new Megas, Deltas, and everything else along those lines is where this game is unmatched and is its main niche. To close things off, Pokemon Insurgence isn't, in my eyes at the very least, my favorite Pokemon fan game. There were many moments where I actually did not want to continue playing this fan game, but in the end, I'm glad that I did, because everything that happened in the end stage made it all worth it. There are a lot of things to see, lots of features to explore, and lots of Megas and Deltas to see. While I still won't necessarily call it good, because it is still inconsistent, it left me satisfied. And if you're a person that's looking towards getting into the world of playing Pokemon fan games or ROM hacks, this definitely is something which I can say you will enjoy. And that is why it is going to get a 7 out of 10. So with that being said, that wraps up the review for Pokemon Insurgence. I sincerely hope each and every single one of you enjoyed, and if you did, please do leave a like and comment in the comment section down below if there's anything you want to give me or tell me about the game itself. And as always, if you want to watch more of these reviews, do feel free to subscribe to my channel. I kind of want to reach 500 subs by the time this year comes to an end. So if you could sub to this channel, it would be pretty sick. But if not, that's perfectly fine as well. I'm genuinely grateful to see you watch my work, and I can promise you that I will continue working my absolute hardest to provide this sorts of content for you, for each and every single one of you in the near future. So with that being said, this is your friendly neighborhood Starman signing out. Stay awesome. I love you guys. I'll see y'all next time.